What's going on, everybody? This is Czellian here. I'm going to make a video to try to go over some of the, I guess, beginner stuff to learn. I know when you go into this game, it can feel kind of daunting, especially if you're from some of the other tower defense games. That may seem a little easier. This game, you step into it, and there's like a lot of stuff going on. Um, so I'm going to try to go over some stuff that can just come to my head, and hopefully it'll help you guys when you are starting out to to learn some of the game. So first things first, when you join the game, there is a bunch of different codes. I'm not going to say all the codes, but if you go to the Discord, you can search for codes, and all the new ones will come up. Depending on when you're watching this video, I just don't want to say the codes, and then you enter them, and then they're no longer active. I know there's a Happy New Year one, Happy New Year 2024, but you have to be at least 25 to use that code, so it's kind of useless if you're brand new to the game. But yeah, you just go to your settings there, like I said, and put the codes there and hit enter. And if you already entered one and you weren't sure, it'll just show up as invalid code. So another thing, a lot of people, they really kind of ignore this button, but this will get you around to some of the areas really easy. You do have the AFK here if you want to AFK overnight to get some rewards and stuff. The Gotchi is where you're going to summon. The Adventure, of course, is where you're going to play the game. And then your Laboratory is where you can evolve your units and also make units. So what's cool about this game is there's certain units, the miracle units that you can make in here just by farming certain materials. So this is the list here. There's also some secrets that are in here that you can get not only in here, but also by doing some of the raid or legend stages. And you can also get these units as well. Same with Quincy here. So over here, there's some items that you can also make. So say you need these items, say you're farming for one of the items, but you keep on getting these. You can also, make them as well, and vice versa. You can make that unit or that item as well. So this is sometimes helpful. If you really don't want to go into a raid, you can make some of the stuff here. So you can do that as well. And over here is where you're going to evolve all your units. So not every single unit is able to evolve. There's only a certain ones that currently you're able to. They're always adding stuff. There's also units that you can evolve twice, which is really cool. And it's all the way down to, it's not just like your best units in the game. You can evolve common units. There's some common units that turn into amazing units that you can use throughout the game and as you're leveling up and stuff. But yeah, just scroll through here and you can find specific ones that may interest you. Like this one right here, it's a really good hill unit early on, especially when you're starting on the game. So I never evolved her because I happen to get a different hill unit. But yeah, this is just an example of certain things that you can evolve. The way you do that is, of course, you have to go and get certain materials. So this little question mark here is very useful. It tells you, for the most part, exactly where to get those items. So you just click on here, you go to the Tomb of the Stars, you can get these, and so on. There's also one down here called Spirits. So these you can only get them by getting duplicate summons. So that's another cool feature. Let's go over to the Gotchi here. So this is where you're going to summon. There's many different banners. But before I get into that, you just click on see a random unit. Should have duplicates. So as you see here, when you pull up one of the units, it'll show duplicate summons. So some of these units, or almost every unit that you have to evolve them, you need a duplicate of them. So just because you got one, so it's a Gojo for an example here. So this one you need a couple of the Gojo units to evolve. So once you summon one, there's a good chance you're gonna have to summon more of that. And so on there. So the legend one up here is the brand newest banner from the last update. We're supposed to get another update this Friday, the time of this recording. So yeah, so this one has a lot of good units in it. It can be challenging if you're trying to get specific ones, because as you see, the list is pretty large. So say you're trying to get Gojo, you can probably go to his banner and just get him a lot easier because as you see, there's a lot less. Um, so some of the good ones to get early on. See if I can. Um, so red hair Shanks, he's very very good. He's a stun unit. He's something that you can use pretty much throughout um, leveling and end game. The Abyss, he's really popular to use in the Abyss, which is basically like an Infinity Castle. Um, so I recommend highly getting him. I used Fuji a lot. This was the air unit that I was talking about that I got. I used him and also Flame Emperor here. So this for me this is a pretty good banner because I got a bunch of units here that help me leveling. But Flame Emperor helped me a lot get through some of the tough stuff because it's also a hill unit. And let's see. See what else is here. Dennis is one that's pretty important to get. He's a farm, and what's good about him is, say, like, there's Ashi that's also in this game. Um, Ashi will give you money every wave, but Dennis here will give you money throughout the wave. So even when a wave isn't going through, he's going to continuously give you money. So this is something that I use almost on every team that I have for the most part, unless it's like an infinity mode or an endless that I'm doing. So I use Dennis a real lot. Blood Demon's a really good bloodthirsty unit. Basically, this unit is if you have a bleed unit, bloodthirsty will basically proc because that unit is bleeding and just do a huge amount of damage. Let's see through that one. So Merlin here, Flower Magician, is really good. It's a buff unit that increases your range. So for a lot of runs, I recommend using him. Of course, we have Gilgamesh here, who once recently you can now evolve him. So he's really good. He's probably the best, strongest unit in the game when it comes to using him for almost anything. He has a nuke, so you get a certain amount of damage on him. He can blow up the entire map, and it's just an amazing unit. The evolve is crazy. Everyone's going crazy over that unit. Is a pretty good bleed unit. Shielder. So this unit, along with Peem, banner Peem's in, but Shielder here is really really useful because there's certain bosses called super bosses, and then ones that aren't necessarily a super boss tag, but they'll actually do damage on your base. So the Shielder here will actually help heal your base. So she's a very important unit for some of the content that you're going to be doing. So I highly recommend getting her. Investigator is a really good early game farm. This is basically a farm that's similar to an Ashi. Ashi's called Idle in this game. But Investigator is basically a wave. Every wave will give you more money as well. And then Red Archer here. I really like Red Archer because, say you don't have a hill unit, Red Archer, when you upgrade him one time, he turns into a hill unit. So I do recommend also getting him as well early game. Blood Queen is one of the top bleed units in the game. I highly recommend getting her. Yata is really good because on placement, especially for story, because on placement he has an attack of, I believe, 1 SPA, so it's so fast. He definitely helps a lot. And of course, getting Gojo. Gojo is something that I used throughout the Abyss, all the way up to 75. Tamer is a very, very good unit to have. There's Peem. She's also one of the healers, and what's cool about her is that, say you have a debuff, like you're getting stunned, she actually will cure that stun. So she's a really good versatile unit. And there are other ones, but that's just a few of them to look into getting. So this one over here, I see a lot of people when they're new to the game, they come over here and they start spending their souls. So this is bugged right here. It'll always show that you have 5,000 until you start using them. But basically, the spirits that are used to summon on that banner are probably one of the most important items in the game because this is used to actually evolve your units. So as you see, I only have 1,563. Some units take up to 1,000 spirits to evolve. So it gets pretty expensive. I have a lot of units that are evolved, so I'm always hurting on on that type of stuff. So yeah, so I highly recommend only really summoning on this one. If you see the secret unit here, and get that, and you'll just see SCR. It's based on time zone, so everyone's going to be different. So what you're seeing here is probably different from what you're seeing. But yeah, it just rotates every hour, and the secret unit's good to get. Now, if you're really targeting on something, maybe pull from here. But honestly, I just rather you pull from over here, because when you're getting duplicates, you're going to be getting spirits as well. So every time you get a duplicate item, you get spirits. So let's see if I can show you an example. Pull. So you see as the spirit just popped up, because I have a duplicate of them, it shows up. They just keep popping up because they're all duplicates. So yeah. But very, very important that you save your spirits. You don't just waste them on this banner over here. So what else? So heading over the Christmas banner, I'm not going to talk about that because that's going away in a couple days. Here is the adventure area. So this is the Abyss. I don't recommend really doing this unless you have a lot of the good units required to do here and evolve stuff. Yuka is a really good unit in here, but this is definitely not the easiest thing unless you actually have a team that's built for it. But it's once you get your team, I definitely recommend doing this, because you get a unit, a secret unit, you get an Abyss token that you can spend, get some miracle shards, which are really important. I guess I'll talk about that next. So miracle shards are basically used to unlock secret or hidden power. So basically hidden power is very, very important for units that you use a lot. So I use Tamer a lot. He's perfect for the metal runs because of his final summon when he's evolved his third form. So this is one of these units that you can evolve twice. So basically hidden power uses miracle shards. I don't have any right now, because every time I get them I use them, but they basically add levels. They add 3 levels every time you use them. So as you see, this unit, because he evolves twice, he can go up to level 65, but like a normal unit, this is what you start with. So not evolved, not anything, hidden power is no hidden power in him, it's level 30. Once you evolve him, he'll go to level 40, and then so on and so forth. You evolve him again. If you could evolve him again, you can't evolve MR units, so this is just an example. If you were to evolve him to his third form, it would be level 50. So that's kind of how that works. So I only recommend using miracle shards on stuff that you're really going to use all the time, like Father. I use Father a lot. Gojo, him all the time, so he has hidden power. So yeah, so definitely worth using these, not on just junk units. They're hard to come by. You only really get them weekly and on your daily quests. So yeah, and I'll talk about daily quests more in a little bit. All right, so another thing that the units have is basically stats. So in this game, you can get stat rerolls here. They do come by. I use them all the time, so that's why, like, you see 811, but there's people that have thousands of these. But I use mine all the time to reroll stuff. So you basically have stat power. Like, let me see if I can find a unit to reroll, just to kind of give you an example. Let's see. Sorry. Like I said, I use these a lot. Yeah, everything's rerolled already. Okay, perfect. So I actually just got her because of Battle Pass here. So I finished the Battle Pass because they extended it. I was going to be short. I was going to be at like level 49, I think. And because they extended the update, or they delayed it, I was able to get them. So I was able to get Spooky there. But yeah, all right. So basically, let me show you the example here. So every time you roll this, basically these numbers change. So you want the bars to be basically at the top. So you basically just keep rolling until you hope that you get a good roll. So normally what I look for, so is something similar to this. So usually if I see attack and cost all the way up, so the higher the cost is here, the lower your cost is going to cost to like place your units and upgrade them. So you always want this bar to be higher. I've seen people think that you want cost to be down here, but if you go lower, it's going to be 115%. So it's basically going to cost a lot to be placing your units. You want this as close to 85%, which is best, as possible. So yeah, so just like that, it didn't take too many, and I got a decent roll there. So that's kind of how that works. Another thing that a lot of people kind of overlook is this right here, units filter. So it doesn't really look like it's a tab sometimes. From what I've been hearing, it doesn't look like a button, but you can actually click that, and then this whole menu comes up, and you can search all the passives that you can have, and basically narrow them down. So say you're looking for a bleed unit, you just click it, go to your unit filter, and it shows all the bleed units you have. Yeah. And next thing, so then up here you can just clear it. So next thing that's really important is this category. So one thing that you'll notice on your units, and the ones that I have on me, so these units, they have this thing called leader skill. So basically what this is, a lot of people don't seem to want to click this to find out exactly what leader skills do, but I'll explain it to you. So basically what a leader skill is that they give you a buff if they're placed in the #1 slot. So if you have this unit placed here, you get, as you see down here, the leader category buff of Blood Hunter, or Blood Hunt, and you get an attack of plus 120%. So what that means is if you go back here, like I said, and you click on Bloody Hunt, it's only going to show those units. So if you are equipping any of these units in all those other slots that you have, they will get the bonus from that leader. So you can't just put any unit in there that doesn't have, say, the Bloody Hunt tag. It has to have that Bloody Hunt tag in order to get the leader bonus that the leader is using. So as you see here, I have Blood Demon. So here, Blood Demon also is getting that buff because she has that tag from that leader. But Red Hair, or aka Shanks, he does not have it. So if I search Shanks, as you see, there's no Shanks here. So I clear it. Well, Red Hair, he's in the game. Let's do that. So when you click on Shanks and you see here in his categories, he does not have Bloody Hunt. So he's not going to get a bonus from your leader. So that's kind of how that works. A lot of people think as long as the leader has Bloody Hunt, everyone's get 120% or whatever the buff is. No, that's not true. It's only other people that have that category tag on your team. That becomes very important once you start going in story. To get ahead of myself. So story mode. So a lot of people, they like to do stuff fast. So they go, this is what I have noticed has basically caused a lot of people to not play this game. Basically what happens is they go here, first they put the codes in, they go and get a bunch of units from the summon. They come here, they put those units on, they think, oh, I have an LR unit, it's going to do amazing. They come here, they scroll down, they hit skip, and they just get destroyed. You don't have levels on your units. Maybe you'll get past the first couple, but all of a sudden you're going to hit a brick wall where you just can't get past it. So what a lot of people don't understand is the skip button is 5 times harder than if you just were to go through the normal every single level. So if you're doing the skip and it comes very, very hard for you to do it, don't worry, just exit out of the skip and then go into each level, because the level 5, once you complete it to move on to the next area, is 5 times easier than your level skip. So yeah, so don't think just because you can't get past level skip, you're pretty much stuck. No, I can guarantee you if you go through it and just go through each level, it might be tedious, but it's going to get you through it. I almost guarantee you're going to get through it. So yeah, so now that we're talking about that, So as you're going through and finishing all the story mode, you're going to unlock a lot of these areas to be able to do them. So this is where you're going to get all those items that you need to evolve, your units. So they have them in the raid here. They also have them in legend stages. What's cool about legend stages, you can also get some secret units in there as well. And there's an LR unit that you can get as well in here. Quincy King here. So yeah, so you can go through here. There's more. If you click on it, it'll show you. Well, of course, I click on the one that it doesn't show you more. But yeah, so you can scroll over, and Crossover City is the newest one here. There's a lot of stuff you can get here. It's a really good stage to farm. Christmas is here, but it's probably it's going away this weekend. So that's kind of irrelevant at this point. There's also within here, you have your event stages. So one of the best ways to make, or I shouldn't say one of the best way to make gold in this game is doing Metal Rush. But people will come into Metal Rush blindly, not realizing that you need specific units. So metal enemies need a critical hit. It goes away so quick, to do real damage. So the only way that these enemies that are metal get hit is if you crit it. So once again, you go back to your units here, click on your passive, click on critical, and it'll show you all your units that can do critical hit. So you basically need one of these units. One of the best units to get for critical hit is Ratio Sorcerer. So I highly recommend getting yourself a Ratio Sorcerer, because you're going to use him. Basically, I use him on my my team that gets 1,000,000 gold every single run. Also a really good unit once you get him to his third form is Tamer here. So basically, he doesn't. His pets don't do crit until you get to his final summon or his final upgrade, which is 440k. But when you're doing the Metal Rush, you do get to 440k gold saved up rather easily, and he is the strongest crit unit in the game. So yeah, so you need crit units. So another thing that you're going to run into when you go in here, you'll see bleeding units to stop enemies that are healing. So they pretty much explain everything for you, but a lot of people seem to overlook that stuff. So a big one that basically puts people on all stop is once they get to this area, because this area requires enemies that have basically yeah. When you click here, they have this tag called Element. So Element, you basically need a unit that does damage over time. So once again, just go to your inventory, go to your passives, and then certain ones like Flame 2, Freeze 2, Paralysis. These ones basically will do elemental damage. Bleeding is also in that category. Bleeding is probably the best for this, because bleeding is the only one that doesn't basically have a 40% chance. And the recent patch, what they did was changed the flame category and freeze categories, basically all dot damage besides bleeding, to a 40% chance. So it's only a 40% chance that you're actually going to deal that damage over time to the enemies. So it's a huge pain. There's a lot of Abyss levels that I did that require you to be, hitting enemies fast, and it wasn't proccing. It was very frustrating. So I highly recommend getting yourself a really good bleed team to basically combat that stuff. So let me think. I think other than that, if there's anything that you guys want me to make a video on, so you guys can learn, I think that's pretty much it that I can talk about for now. Just remember, so also, I guess, yeah, that's one more thing. So in the event stages, you have these things called your elements. So each one of these represent basically damage that your units are going to do. So there's this nice little table that they have here that shows you exactly what it means. So if you don't understand what it's saying here in the text, basically, if you're using a red unit in a yellow room, it's going to do 2 times the damage. And if you're using a yellow unit in a red room, it's going to do half the damage. So you never want to use, unless it's just something that you're going to use for like crowd control, you would never really want to use a yellow unit in a red room, and so on. So there's also the white damage that you see in the middle here. So that's nothing can really do more damage against that. It's almost like a chaos type damage, that you really can't do added damage to. But yeah, so that's basically what this means. So when you're going to do damage runs to level up your, so similar to other games where you need like kills, well this game, in order to evolve units, you need damage, basically total damage. So say you have a red unit, you want to get damage on them, you would equip the red unit, go into here, and then go to the yellow stage, and then do this to get your damage. It's easiest to do it in normal just because it'll take a lot longer to scale, but normally you can get, especially as a beginner, you can get more damage in normal than you would insane, because you'll probably end up dying a lot quicker in insane. But once you get better, you can do insane and challenger to help scale your damage even more. But yeah, other than that, this video is over 25 minutes, so I don't want to go any further. But hopefully this helped you guys out, learn some things. If there's anything else you want me to make a video on, please let me know, and I'll try making videos on those things. I'm gonna be making videos, updated videos on strategies and stuff as well, so tune in for those. But I do appreciate everyone basically sticking it out this far. If you like the video, please subscribe, give me a like. I am new to to this stuff, but hopefully this helped you guys out. All right, and I'm out.